Hello everyone, I'm Silver. It is Monday, March 30th. I just want to say a quick hello to any new viewers. I do have a few new subscribers that popped in recently. I also do have to say a quick welcome back to all returning viewers. If you tuned in last time and decided to come back, I really do appreciate it. I know there are a lot of podcasts that you could be listening and watching, especially while everyone is quarantined. Yay! Yes, I got the elephant in the room out and we're going. All right, anyway, you can find me on Ravelry as Silverluna2112, at Silver's Treats on Instagram, and at Silver's Knitting on Twitter. I do have a little bit to talk to you about. It has been sort of a busy week this past couple weeks, but anyway, just please grab your drink of choice, your crafting, and away we go. Today I'm actually drinking a second cup of my maple cinnamon coffee from Harmony Bay. I absolutely love this flavor, you guys. We can thank MTI for that one. But anyway, I'm going to take a sip and then we'll get going. Okay. In this episode, we do have FOs, or finished objects, Stash Ready, Whips, Radio GaGa, Silver's book pile, Silver and the Case of the Screen Time, My Favorite Things, and the End of the Road. So with that, we should probably get started, right? Let's start this episode with what I managed to finish. Yes, it may have been 2 weeks, but I did manage to finish a couple things. The first one is pretty much an epic finish. This was the super secret design that I showed you guys the last time. This is actually part of a mystery knit along that is starting April 1st. I'll put the little more details in the show notes and as well as down below in the comment box here on YouTube. The pattern that I actually created for this mystery knit along is what I'm calling a Wizarding World Tour. If you are planning on participating in the MCAL, there is a coupon code going on right now, so make sure you check that project page, and those details will be right there for you. For my sample of the pattern, I ended up using Wonderland Yarns and Fraptious Fibers Queen of Hearts in the Tea Time colorway. I also used Nice and Knit on our fingering base in the Mayflowers colorway, Mint Chip, and Watermelon. If you're wondering, all three of those colors, as I listed them, are in the color. They are in the transitions that I made for the shawl. So here is a picture of the final product that I came out with. And I know it's black and white, you guys, but trust me, it is going to be worth the wait until I reveal the actual design. I would say expect that to come out by the end of April, and I will even show it here on the podcast. So I did use a size US 6, which is a 4.0 millimeter, on a 60-inch Chai-Gu red lace needle that I have. I have to tell you about the third clue. If you're playing along, you'll probably will need the 60-inch cable by that point. All right, anyway, enough about my pattern. The other thing that I did manage to finish since the last time we talked was what I called SSDGM 2020. These were the March Desert Vista Dye Works socks. I used the My Favorite Murder podcast colorway, hence the SSDGM there in my project title. I ended up using the Toe Up Socks of the Difference pattern by Wendy D. Johnson. And I use a size 1, which is a 2.25 millimeter on 9-inch circulars, as well as two 16-inch circulars for the heels, cuffs, and toes. Again, because my purling takes a little bit more torque, apparently. I'll have to show you guys one of these days what I mean by that. But today won't be that day. Sorry. The next thing that I did finish was a very quick project. It was quick enough that I did not even have time to put it in a bag. That's how quick it finished. I called this project I Like Hearts and I Cannot Lie. I just made a quick 2-round granny square, and then after that I put little trebles, 12 trebles into the top of each, so it makes a heart. I love it. I absolutely love making these hearts. It's nice and simple design. I ended up watching a tutorial to figure out how to make these. I will link that down below in the comment box as well as in the show notes. I did use Cascade 220 in a pink colorway. I think it's called Azalea Pink. I'm not too sure. Don't quote me on that one. For this heart, I did end up using an eye hook, which is a 5.5 millimeter. I absolutely love this thing, you guys. Let's see. Oh yeah, and the fourth thing that I managed to finish actually was a total of 6 squares for my Scrappy Happy blanket. I have no pattern for this one. I just use 11 round squares and I just keep going. A lot of the time it is just for busy work in the background as I do other things. I will probably make some as I'm editing later, but that's neither here nor there. I am using so many different scraps for this blanket. Any 20-gram minis that I have left over, I'm using in this blanket. I do have a full list of the yarns that I'm using on the project page because I eventually will want to enter this for a stash dash once I finally finish. But what I'll also do for you is I will put the colors that I use below each picture for the blanket as I'm talking, so that way you can see the different colorways, because each dye deserves to have a mention. For this project, I am using a size G hook, which is a 4.25 millimeter. Yes, I absolutely love this crochet hook, you guys. I'm gonna have to take a picture of it sometime. Maybe I'll put it here. I don't know yet. Anyway, I'm rambling. Let's move on to the next segment. Okay, let's talk about what I have in stash dash readiness. I have picked up a long languishing, what I'm calling UFO at this point, unfinished object, because it's been just sitting there on my needles for way too long. As in, I cast this on back in October of 2017. Yeah, I thought it was time to almost just about get it finished. The only thing that I have left on my, what I'm calling Forever Minty, is one row and a bind off, and it will be complete. So that way it is now sitting in a box waiting for stash dash to start. The pattern that I'm using on this one is It Has Always Been Forever for Me Sasana Shawl by CC Almond. I am using 2 different colorways of Lolo Did It plush sock in the Barely There Mint and Sasana. And I am using a size US 4, which is a 3.5 millimeter on my Chigu needles. Okay, let's move on to what I am currently working on. I did put, I would say, a fair amount of work on this first one that I am calling Scrappy Happy DBD. I am using the Granny Stripes pattern by Lucy of Attic 24, and I'm using a lot of miscellaneous Desert Vista dyework scraps. All of them, right at this point, are all from the second year that I was doing the sock cal. I do have some other minis that are going in after and before those as well. All of the colorways that I am using will be listed on my project page, so you know. I am using a size 4.25 millimeter, which is a G hook. You guys, you're going to be super proud of me. I finally put this in a bag. I finally put it in a bag, you guys. It's not in a Ziploc. It has actually graduated to a proper project bag. I have finally put it in my Pink Flowers bag by the Fat Squirrel. This is the bag, one of the bags that I actually bought at SSK 2018. I absolutely love this bag. I actually had Forever Minty in here until I finished to the point that I needed to finish to, and just swap the bags, as you do. Let's see. Oh, the next thing that has gotten, I would say, a fair amount of love since the last time we talked is what I call Dr. Daddy-O. I am planning on making both socks up until the toes and then putting it off until stash dash happens. I have finished one completely to that point, and the second one I just finished the ribbing and maybe 1 or 2 rows of the patterning. This pattern goes by so fast, you guys. I think the last time you saw this, I was actually just finishing up the gusset, if I remember correctly. I'll have to look at the picture. I put up a picture so you can see where we were. Anyway, I am using the Doctor Who Reverse Polarity socks by Rosie Rose. And I am using 2 different skeins of Knit Picks Hawthorne Fingering Multi in the Newport colorway, one for each sock. I'm not planning on using both of them, but we shall see how that works. That way I don't have to worry about cutting the yarn for the toe and whatnot. Oh yeah, and I am using a size US 2, which is a 2.5 5, I believe, knitted circulars for most of the sock, and I have put the toe now of the first one on 2 16-inch circulars. Yes. Let's see. Oh, the next thing that got, I would say, a tiny bit of love since the last time we talked, mostly because the rows take too long. It's what I called Huffle Pride. I have done exactly one full decrease row, and the rows right after it. So, I mean, it's getting there. I've got 7 more, or sorry, not decreases, 7 more increase rows left. And then after that, I'm going to do a band of color work. And then after that, the ribbing. And the body will be done. We'll see how quickly it takes me to do the sleeves, right? Y'all know how I am about Sleeve Island. Anyway, this pattern that I'm using is the Hogwarts of History pattern by Megan Regan. I am using 2 different colorways from Sweet Georgia Yarns in their Tough Love sock in the slate colorway for the body of the sweater, and lemon curd for the colorway. For the color work. Wow. I am using a size 6, which is a 4.0 millimeter for the entire body of the sweater, except for the ribbing, which I am using a size US 3. This is a 3.25 millimeter needle. I absolutely love the way that this project is coming out, you guys. Ugh. Okay, I need to stop digressing. The last thing that got a very little, and I repeat, very little amount of love since the last time we talked is what I'm calling It's Getting Dangerous. I literally did about 3 or 4 pattern repeats in the second section of the Practical Danger pattern by Martina Bem last night, and that was it. I obviously had other things that was on my mind over the past couple weeks. Either way, I am using the Knit Picks Muse hand fingering sock in the Elation colorway, and I am using a size US 5, which is a 3.75 millimeter needle. Oh my god, you guys, I love the way this is coming out. I cannot wait to give it back to it. Maybe while I'm editing. Either way, let's move on to the next segment. Radio GaGa. I have been trying to binge listen to a lot more podcasts recently. I am caught up with my favorite murder, A Wine and Crime, The Murder Squad, which is the Jensen and Holes podcast, if you're wondering. I also started listening to Truth If You Dare a lot more. The Dating Game Killer. Loved that one, you guys. I believe there was only a 6-parter, and I have caught up. I've also been listening to Martinis and Murder, The Fall Line, Verified, and That's Why We Drink. I absolutely love these podcasts, you guys. You really should give them a try. I know a lot of them are true crime based, but I haven't quite gotten to listening to the other ones on my list, which my podcasts tend to range anywhere from true crime and comedy, or just regular true crime, to like comedy podcasts, and I also do have a couple that you've probably heard before. Just rando different things that I like to listen to. I'm not gonna make any apologies for that, and let's move on to the next segment, okay? We'll just pretend that rambling never happened, right? Let's move on to Silver's book pile. Yes, it's been only 2 weeks, but I only managed to finish 5 books since the last time we talked. The first was Master of Desire by Kenley McGregor. We also finished Her Dakota Man by Lisa Mondello. I also finished Intertwined Hearts by Kimmy Flores, The Pirate Prince by Connie Mason, and Barely a Bride by Rebecca Henley. I don't know what took me so long with those books. I usually read an average of like 3 or 4 per week. But I guess with all of the... Okay, yes, I know exactly what happened with the designing. I did not feel in a reading mood. I only just barely finished the last book, I think about an hour or 2 before I started recording today. So there's that. What I am currently reading in that vein is Gypsy Lover by Connie Mason. I did start this last night. I read about 45 minutes. So I got about a quarter of the way through the book. So, honestly, I've actually had this book, like, as a physical book since it first came out. I don't remember what year it was. I'll have to put it down below if I can remember. But yeah, it's the only thing that I have been currently, that I'm going to add to the currently reading section. I mean, I could lie to you and say that I have been slowly reading through Changing Ways, Stranger Beside Me, and Echo in the Bone, but Harry Potter will be commencing, I think, in a few weeks. So at that point, that's when I will start talking about the seventh book in the series. Anyway, with that in mind, let us move on to the next segment. Silver and the Case of the Screen Time. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, you guys. I have spent a lot of time over the past couple weeks watching TV and other things, and I still don't feel like I'm caught up at all. As in, I haven't watched a few shows since 2 weeks ago, which is not like me at all. But anyway, what I did watch was a show called Portals to Hell that came back, that actually has like Jack Osborne and Katrina in it. I love those two so much. I've also watched The Prodigal Son, 911, The Dead Files. I also have watched Masked Singer, caught up completely. I have to say I had no idea who last week's was, but before that, yeah, it got me going. Anyway, the next thing that I've been watching is a show called Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist. I did play this for MTI, the first episode, and he said, and I quote, "Not my scene, but I can see why you like it." Let's see. Oh, I've also been watching a show called Kindred Spirits, with a few of the remaining members of the original Ghost Hunters team, which I absolutely loved. Anyway, DNA of Murder with Paul Holes, of course, as you do. I also have been spending a lot of time watching Oxygen shows. That includes a long marathon of snapped episodes yesterday, and Murder by Morning, which was on last night. I think it was a season finale. I think I'm actually going to go back and watch the episodes from this season. I loved that episode that much. I'm going to write that down so I don't forget. Murder by Morning. If you were wondering, I do take notes as I record, so I know exactly like where timestamps are and things like that, but that's inside baseball. You don't need to know that, right? Either way, and this time around, I have watched a few movies. I did watch Detective Pikachu twice, I believe, this past week. I really liked that movie. I've also watched Masterminds. I watched Teen Wolf, Mamma Mia, and Twister. Because why not? Oh yeah, and I also watched The Parent Trap, the one with Lindsay Lohan, just because I wanted to. Let's see. I am very behind in my video podcast, but I did manage to watch the Geeky Girls Knit and Cross Stitch podcast. I also watched Adorn Knit, Round the Twist, Knitters League, Stitching the High Notes, Tea and Possibilities, and the Knit Girls. Guys, I have so much I am so behind on. Hopefully, now the quarantine is in place and everyone's like, stay at home, stay at home, stay at home, I should be able to catch up, right? We shall see. Anyway, there have been some other things that I have watched as well. On Oxygen, over the weekend there was a 4-hour, like 2 days special event going on called The Forgotten West Memphis 3. I absolutely loved this special. I might actually end up watching it again. The first couple parts made my blood boil. Well, actually, the whole thing made my blood boil, but like I was so emotional the entire time watching this thing. And yeah, it was like, what are you even doing right now? Oh, and also I have been watching a lot of random YouTube videos, including some new channels that I'm subscribed to, including GT Ogre, which is actually a car towing channel. I don't know why I like it so much, but I do. Chris, the guy that runs the channel, is very, very sarcastic. He makes each one kind of like a mini movie, including sound effects and what he calls a snark track, which is where he just kind of picks up random things that are happening in that towing video. and just make fun of the people, and it's great. It's awesome. It's just my aesthetic. The other thing that I have been watching a fair amount is I actually recently subscribed to Officer Quad Patrol, and I have been watching every one of his videos. So it is what it sounds like. It's pretty cool. Let's see. I've also been kind of obsessed with car crash videos. I don't know why. Maybe because my life feels like a car crash, so I need to watch other people. But anyway, to that end, I have 2 different channels I subscribe to, so that way I have a constant, okay, these are the newer videos coming out. One channel is called King of the Road, and the other one is DDS TV. I love those 2, you guys. If you are squeamish about things like that, I would say maybe not for you. I don't know. I don't know what your life is like. Anyway, before I start rambling again, I'm going to head on to the next segment. Okay, let's talk my favorite things. With everyone in isolation over the past couple weeks, my family decided we needed to get together. And since I have a Zoom account that will allow us to talk more than 40 minutes, the base, whatever it is, anyway, we ended up getting together on Zoom and talked for like almost 2 hours. It was great. So the Zoom is where I got the I got the title for this episode from a movie that I used to watch back in the late 90s called Xenon Girl of the 21st Century. I don't know if you remember the video. I don't know if you remember the movie at all. I think it was on Disney Channel and ABC Family after that. Anyway, the line is zoom, 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 make my heart go boom, boom. And then after that, my supernova girl. Yes, so this movie, I'm obsessed with the movie. I've got to watch it at least a couple more times this week. But anyway, it had like Kristen Storms in it, as well as Raven-Symoné. And there's actually a few others that were like really young when this movie came out. It's amazing. The guy that played Protozoa, who is Phil Breeze, he ended up in so many different roles after that, and I've kind of watched every single one that he's in. He was in 24, he was in a couple Doctor Who episodes, Glee, he was in NCIS, and there's a lot of other shows that he was in at one point. I think he's in Pretty Little Liars too. I don't know what that is. But anyway, the dude is a very versatile actor, and well, okay, let's be honest, he's cute too, so I am very rambly this episode. I think I should start getting going. Alright, we have come to the end of the road, and I have been rambling a lot for this being a smaller episode, right? Anyway, I'm pretty social. You can find me on our Ravelry board, which is Silver's Dreamland Podcast. I am Silverluna 2112 there. On Facebook, Silver's Dreamland can be found at www.facebook.com/Silver's Dreamland. I do comment there as much as I can. On Instagram, I am Silver's Treats. On Twitter, I am at Silver's Knitting. So I do tend to read through all messages as soon as I possibly can. If you happen to not hear from me within 24 hours, please feel free to email me directly at silversdreamland@gmail.com. And as always, everything that I talk about can be found in the show notes at www.silversdreamlandpodcast.com. And if you haven't done so already, please feel free to subscribe here on YouTube and hit the bell down below. This way others can find me in my little corner of YouTube, and you can be notified every time I have an episode live. Alright, like I said, I have rambled way too long. I know your time is valuable, so please feel free to go ahead and join in any discussion, or you can start your own on the Silver's Dreamland Ravelry board, and even participate in the MCAL that we have going on right now. I don't bite, I promise. If you are feeling generous, please hit the like button below this video so that others can find my show as well. And again, subscribe if you haven't already, and please stay tuned for episode 87 next week. Until next time, happy crafting!